Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have used an old bedsheet to create a pleated tennis skirt. These have been so popular this year, so I thought I'd have a go at making one. So let's get into it. I started by removing all the elastic from the corners of the bedsheet. I used a seam ripper to help me do this. Once I'd removed all the elastic, this is how it looked. Next, I took my measurements for the skirt. I multiplied my waist measurement by 3 as I needed a lot of fabric for the pleating and added 5 cm to the length I wanted for seam allowance. My measurements were 237 cm by 50 cm. I then marked these measurements onto the fabric. Once I'd done that, I cut this out. This is how it looked. I folded the bottom edge over about ½ inch and pinned this in place. Once I'd pinned all the way along, I sewed where I'd pinned. This was to hem the bottom of the skirt. Next, I needed to make the pleats in the skirt. I measured 3 inches from the previous pleat, folded the fabric over and pinned it in place. I repeated this for the whole skirt. This is how it looked. I then ironed the pleats so they would keep their shape. Once I'd done that, I sewed across the top of the pleats. I then measured 4 inches down from the top of the fabric on the edge of each pleat and marked this. I sewed down each pleat to the mark I made to give them a better shape. On to making the waistband. I took my waist measurement from earlier and marked this onto my fabric. As I wanted my waistband to be 2½ inches wide, I marked 5 inches onto my fabric as this will be folded in half. Once I'd marked this, I cut this out. I folded this in half, right sides together, and pinned along the open edge. I then sewed where I'd pinned. This is how it looked once it was sewn. Next, I turned this inside out so it was now the right way round. As my skirt ended up being bigger than I needed, I marked my waist measurement onto the fabric and cut it to the right length. I placed the waistband onto the skirt, right sides together, and pinned it in place. I then sewed where I'd pinned. This is how it looked with the waistband attached. I folded the skirt in half, right sides together, and placed my zip along the open edge. I marked just above the end of the zip and pinned the fabric together below this mark and sewed where I'd pinned. I then pinned my zip into place. As attaching zips to fabric is quite a long process and I didn't want to make this video too long, I'll make a video explaining how to add zips in more detail very soon as part of my Basics of Sewing series. Once the zip was pinned in place, I sewed where I'd pinned. The skirt was now complete and this is how it looked. I was really happy with how this turned out. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.